Sitting here having a picnic on the patio overlooking some roofs.
Well, you got a golf course right there.
Oh yeah, that golf
And then
course.
right
Check
over
it
here,
out.
There's the ball, Epcot ball right over there.
Oh yeah, Epcot. Yeah, we do see Epcot. There we go. There's Epcot. That's Animation Studio, it looks like. Yeah, so we just got to hear Ed Milet speak, and oh my gosh, overwhelming to say the least. Is just his words of empowerment, inspiration, impact is something that I just won't ever forget. It was actually transformational, and I am just, again, super grateful to be here right now and experiencing this with the people that we relate to the most, the entrepreneurs, the dreamers, the people who are called to make impact. And actually that's a lot of people. It's just there's only a certain few people that actually answer that call and take action.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. And I am grateful for the resources, the mentors, the friendships, all of the things that happen in the background that empower me to continue to take the next steps in my own personal ways that I am able to contribute. And I'm just super grateful. And I think there's a couple things that really stuck out to me that I want to share. And it's, along the lines of like what Ed Milet was speaking of is, you have an obligation to the people closest to you. You're in my case, my husband and my daughters, to change, to leave a legacy in what we've been called to do. And if we don't, we're neglecting them in that way. And I just feel that if there is something in you, and if you choose not to fully believe it and act on it, then you're neglecting the very thing that could transform lives around us. And how would you say that has just that concept has changed you and your thinking?
I would say that you have this calling in your gut and you know what you need to do, but that's not of you. That's not your thinking. That's not your thoughts. That's God putting those thoughts and giving those ideas to you. So whenever you hesitate to act upon it, you're basically saying that God's giving you this idea and you're afraid it's going to make you look bad, or you're going to fail, or you don't have enough resources. And if he's giving you those ideas, you said it best when it's like he's going to empower you and open doors and make things happen. He's doing it for a reason. And maybe it won't be success. Maybe there's a lesson he's trying to teach you in the process too. But when you do uncomfortable things, there's a better version of you on the other side. And like, embrace it and act. Don't wait, because nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. And do your. It's a blessing to you. It's a blessing to others around you. It'll change your whole family tree and your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids. So just I heard something and it said, like, we were talking about making quick decisions and not being afraid to suck. And a guy told me, he said it's a 5-second rule. He said if you think about it for 5 seconds and you want to pursue it, then pursue it. If not, if you're not sure, then it's a no. And I think that's a good principle, because if I think about it more than that, I go into like, how am I going to do that? How much is that going to cost? How am I going to deliver it? Who's going to deliver it? And all those things are workaround. I don't have enough money, don't have enough time. All those things are, you can bootstrap anything. So God gave you that gift, and God, He gave you that idea. He's given you that, and you know what you need to do, and you got to believe in what He's given you.
Yep. And I think that we talk about like the temporary pain or the temporary fear or all of those things, that the resistance that's holding you from being from moving, from taking the next step, is there temporarily, but it will literally be that thing that transforms your skill set or your abilities in which you can deliver something, a great message to the world, or a business, or just adding good to the world around us. And it's up to us to answer that call and believe in it and keep taking those next steps. And it's just the last couple of days. We still have 2 days left of the Funnel Hacking Live, and it's been incredibly impactful this far, and still with a couple days to go, I expect some great moves to come of this. So we're super excited to share our experience this far, and we'll be able to get to sum it up. We're going to try to beat the hurricane out of here. It's coming tomorrow, and
Really?
yeah.
Maybe the storm, not an actual hurricane.
Yeah,
right?
the storm.
That's how it was on our honeymoon. The week after we left, Hurricane Dean.
That's right. Yeah. Just want to get home to my babies, instill in them principles in which we are currently living, and what a greater gift to be able to leave something inside of them beyond what we can leave for them, right? So this legacy that we can leave and the principles that we're teaching them by example, we can leave inside of them when they become older and able to even, I guess even now, as young as they are, they can make impact in the lives of people that they get to come in contact with. And I just find it so much gratitude in being able to do that for the girls and showing them what it feels like.
I feel like you said that. You said you feel like you don't neglect your kids, but one of the worst forms of neglect is not pursuing your dreams.
And your kids
them
seeing
watching
that.
you and
Yeah.
seeing that. They're like, you're telling them they can be anything and do anything, and here you are not happy in what you're doing. And so they're like, well, why aren't you doing the things that you told me? And you think it's too late, or you don't have enough time or enough money or whatever it is.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job of showing our kids the possibilities, and we also have a heck of a support group around us. Your mom and dad have helped us out more than I can put words to. Taking care of the kiddos and all the different things. So I think that's that helps us out a lot too. And I think it's something that I've kind of realized more, especially on this trip. I feel like even more. I appreciate it even more, I guess, is the best way to say it.
Because there's a lot of mindset and internal struggles and resistance that you feel when taking next steps toward the direction you've been called, but there's also the external, taking care of the kids and the business and all those other things that has to happen to support what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And so having those things work together and trust that God's going to provide so that it does work together is something that we had to choose to not fear, to not worry, to not procrastinate, to not to expect perfection. And I think that's something that we're doing really good now at kind of changing that course of having it to be a certain way in our control, and just really trusting and not fearing and not worrying, just taking the next step, just taking one more day at a time and showing up in the highest way we know possible. So I'm grateful for all the realizations and the opportunity to do it with so many like-minded people. It's super empowering, and it just feels like home. It feels like we're doing on the right path, and really excited for the journey that's to come. Yay, Funnel Hacking Night 2022. We're gonna keep moving. This is gonna be a different view one of these days. This is the moment. This is the moment for sure. This is a tipping point in our life, and we're just documenting the journey and keeping it real, because the reality is it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
The suck.
We're gonna get really good at sucking we if that makes sense.
Yep.
It's because we want it so bad. We want to live out our dreams and our visions, our calling, and even in our own ways, in our individual ways, but even as a team, as a married couple, as a team, we want to be able to show how it's done, God's way, Bible way, and love that we can have the support around us to push them, to keep us on that path, So yeah, it's really cool. Any final words?
Final words?
It doesn't end, right? It's like it could just...
I mean, there's so many different things. One thing I did was I made a background on my phone that has like all the gold nuggets that really resonated with me, so that when you leave here, you don't just, it's not like a convention high or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you keep that going, you ride that momentum, and you get some stuff done and make some movement. So just go take action. Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow, and that's it. Like don't wait, and it's your responsibility. If God's called you to do this and you truly believe that, then get out of your head and walk by faith and not by sight. And then there's you do your work. A friend of ours, Josh, he says that, and it's a biblical verse as well. It says God gave all the birds and animals all the food they would ever need, but he doesn't put it in their nest. And so, like, you do the work, and the things that you don't know, God will give those to you, and he'll provide those to you. So don't be afraid to get out there and do what you need to do, because God will, there's a purpose for it. So walk in, do the hard work, being afraid and being brave. They talked about that, fear and bravery, and brave is just, fear doesn't mean you can't move forward. Being brave is that you may have fear, but you're still moving forward in it. But you can lower that amount of fear that you have by realizing that if this is what God gave you, then if God is for you, who can be against you, and you can go all these different verses and all these different things that should give you enough
to keep
give
taking
you enough
steps
to keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yep. And I think over time it gets, the more we exercise our trust and our faith, it gets easier in a sense that, and along the way you're going to see momentum and progress and change and transformation that is so rewarding, and that's where we're headed. So yeah, cheers to making every day count. If you're not making every day count, you're going backward. So let's make every day count. Boom.